Illustrations of funeral customs from this period are rare, and those that do exist are invariably of high-ranking individuals. However, the circumstances of the Great Plague of 1665 give rise to what is possibly a unique illustration of a funeral bellman in action. This illustration, copied from a woodcut, shows what could only be imagined from documentary accounts, a bellman officiating at a funeral. In this instance, he is clearly not announcing the time and place of the funeral beforehand, but is preceding the pallbearers to the burial. Although having a bellman announce a funeral was commonplace in some parts of Britain at this time, there are also exceptional features on show here caused by the fear of infection by the plague. The restrictions in place were uncannily similar to those we are experiencing now in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic. For example, the pallbearers are carrying red rods, warning folk to keep their distance to avoid the danger of infection. The plague regulations specified that buriers are not to pass the streets without holding a red rod or wand of 3 feet in length in their hands, open and evident to be seen. Similarly, there is no funeral procession for the same reason, as the authorities attempted, not always successfully, to prohibit them. The regulations specified no neighbours nor friends be suffered to accompany the corpse to church. Everything that we have so far discovered about the funeral bellman has largely been forgotten, but there is one announcement made by the bellman during the period of the Great Plague for which he is still popularly remembered. This announcement was made during the night when bodies were collected in dead carts. Daniel Defoe, in his book Journal of the Plague Year, makes several references to this grim procedure, such as: the watchman stopped the dead cart and then knocked again, but nobody answered. He continued knocking, and the bellman called out several times, "Bring out your dead." For centuries, the funeral bellman's doleful toll would have been a familiar sound, but today he is as forgotten as the many souls whose departures he announced. Nor was there anyone left to toll his passing. So, rest in peace, funeral bellman.